creativity. Say that 5 times. No. No, because I'm friends with it, but yet I'm also enemies with creativity. It just beats us up, and yet we love it so much. We have to have it. In every breath we take, creativity is what keeps us moving forward. And yet, when did you go to bed last night? When did you wake up last night? Right. Unplugged, because we will always say yes to creativity. Totally uncut, because we all make mistakes. So turn it into a tool. This is Arroe Unplugged. Do you mind if I have a sip of coffee before we begin today? I think we're going to talk about some heavy-duty stuff, and I just really want to make sure that we're all in the same mindset, and I want you to relax a bit. I want you to take it all in. Oh, I love coffee. Where would we be without it? I always believe that if coffee were to be released today, new and improved coffee, the U.S. government would call it a drug, and they would try to figure out a way to tax it so they could make a ton of money on it. With the world caught up in so much chaos, I mean, between us, okay, this is just between us. It's incredibly difficult to locate places of peace, to rest the heart, to plan out proper ways to react, to belong when everybody else has a strong opinion. I mean, we live in this cancel culture society. The slight slip of the tongue, and here comes the eraser. Team that up with ghosting a friend or a follower, and eventually it feels like you're just standing here alone. Gas prices hitting $6.50 a gallon in California. The inflation of food and other products at a 4-decade high. It's extremely difficult to not want to stand on a soapbox and say, yo, what the hell gives here? Do you not care? The media will report it, but only if it feeds their desire to do nothing more than clickbait. What's going to get hits today? I don't know. I don't. Advertisers need people to check in. So my suggestion is put God first, but now you've tuned out, right? It's a good thought, putting God first. Exercising it through activation exhausts the system of choice. But we must remain faith-filled. Hey, it's Arroe. This is The Daily Mess, a chronological walk through an everyday world. I am a daily writer, not a journalist, but I do keep a journal. I write words down. Is that a Southern thing? I write words down. I write words. I put words in forward emotion. I write words down. Is that like click on the light? This is The Daily Mess. If you could write the next step in history, I'm talking about you. If you could write the next step in history, how would it play out in your journal, your book, your story, your mind? Would it be they lived happily ever after? I mean, to get into that zone would require what? With so many open-ended opinions just soaring through the atmosphere, the average person can't find reason to agree with himself. Too many voices in the head. The heart wants to participate with the process of growth, but there are too many decision makers churning up noise in the soul. I think happily lived ever after will forever stay inside a fairy tale. That mental escape for readers of all ages. That places, oh, wow, I wish. And if you could, there'd still be change. And would it influence the next step? The awkward dreams, the unpredictable ambitions, and a failure to stay true to the origin. It's who we are. We expect it from each other. Therefore, we can't write the next step in history. Oh my God. Could you have predicted anything that we've gone through over the past 2 years? Not me. Now, a lot of people claim that they were warning the world of its way and things were going to change. They claim that. I guess I could hit YouTube and find out if Bill Gates actually said anything, or if maybe they just found a soundbite and they're saying, oh, he was predicting the future. Good for you, Bill. Good for you. I think we all feel and we all exhaust ourselves of what we do feel. That we do try to not just predict the future, we try to play with it in a way that makes it our own. And then when things don't play out the way that they should, then what we do is we become disgruntled. We become disappointed with ourselves, and we just sit in a chair. My father did that. He did. Every day he'd come home from work and just sit in that chair. Dad, can we do something? No, just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. And I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that person, and I don't think you want to be that person, because we've grown since the 1970s and 80s to where ambition is the fuel. That need, maybe not to live happily ever after, but that need to be you needs to be seen, felt, experienced. But how do you get there when it feels like everything is sitting right here on your shoulders? I mean, people aren't even showing up at work. At first, it was the pandemic. At second, it was the pandemic again. But now I think people aren't showing up for work because they can't afford the gas to get there. Because the place of business isn't paying enough to fork out the bucks required to get to work. That's not happily lived ever after. Where are we growing? If you could write history, what would you put into words? What would you want to see in actuality? What are we supposed to be learning from this modern walk and way, where one part of the world right now is being invaded? And then you have senators in the United States that are calling those that have been invaded basically evil people. It's like, what? What? If you could write the next step in history, how would it play out? Would it be they lived happily ever after? I'm Arroe, and that's the Daily Mess.